Hey colleagues, I just wanted to talk today about your accounting software or whatever your information system that you use, whether it's for your contacts or relationship management or whatever, but specifically I'm talking about the accounting system for today. There is a huge hidden cost from underused or underutilized software that's maybe going on in your organization right now. One of the things that I want to talk about is productivity is going to be way lower if the accounting system that you have, and it doesn't matter what your accounting system is, it doesn't have to be, I always talk about the accounting software in terms of a vehicle, right? The accounting software you can have, it gets you from point A to point B. So think in terms of having a Nissan or having a Lamborghini, right? They're both vehicles. One costs, Nissan can cost you $20,000, $30,000. A Lamborghini is going to cost you $300,000, $400,000. Each one has different bells and whistles, but in the end, from a price performance wise, I have found the Nissan is just fine. It's a topic for another day to talk about what software you want to go with, but needless to say, even the most basic accounting software, whether you're using fund balance or you're using fund ware or American Fundware or whatever it's called. In local government, that's one of the very common software that we use. QuickBooks is very common in the private sector, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about local government accounting software. There's lost productivity if you're not utilizing that software to at least a 70 or 80% utilization rate. I would say that in most local governments, we're not even hitting 70%. Why? Because maybe there was no training, or maybe there wasn't buy-in during the change management that has to occur when you install a new software at your city organization or other local government organization. Lost productivity. When you're installing a new software, you need to make sure that people use it. They have to be taught how to use it. And again, a whole different subject, just focusing on underutilized, lost productivity. People have to do things manually. They have to build spreadsheets, create access databases or whatever. It's external and it's not fully integrated into the accounting system. Briefly, to describe an accounting system is at the center of at the heart of the accounting system is a general ledger. And here you have accounts payable, payroll, cash receipts, utility billing, fixed assets, business license, cash receipts, budget, business. Anyways, there's a number of different applications and they all feed in the transactions into the general ledger. And so a fully integrated accounting system, it's always nice to have it under one roof, but regardless, it needs to be fully integrated. And this improves productivity. And so just wanted to mention that as far as the hidden cost of underutilized or unused accounting software. The second thing to be pointing out today is security and controls. The backups, whether they're being done properly, backup and restore, that has to be something that has to be done current. The databases that run the accounting software have to be kept current. And then most importantly for me right now is the access. You have a user that just reads, you have a user that actually posts, and then you have a user that's like a master user, a administrative user. You need to take an inventory. You need to go into the accounting software at your local government organization, take a look at who has access. If you don't, go in there, and if you can just make a phone call to the software vendor and find out who has access to that, because that's how you see whether people that shouldn't have access to payroll or general ledger or posting or whatever, you got to go through that list of all the users, and that might be hard to change, but you got to look at it. The other thing is, as I mentioned right now, if all of these modules, all these things are not fully integrated into the general ledger, productivity is going to be lower, and the cost is going to be, the hidden cost of not utilizing it is going to be much higher. So let me go back again, the point about lost productivity, the security and controls, the integration, and then the hidden costs. If you're new in your organization and you come in, you realize that it's going to take a while to implement that. But your users in your organization, they want to use the software at the higher level. But if you're the manager, you're the accounting manager, the finance director, whatever your job title is, really you're going to have to sit down and you're going to have to spend a few days. You have to get trained on how to use the general ledger, accounts payable, payroll, utility billing, cash receipts, business license, job costing, the budget module, all of the different modules that feed into the general ledger so that you can prepare financial statements and do timely closings, and also to maintain the segregation of duties and the internal controls so that nobody has access to perform transactions in the accounting system that they shouldn't be having access to. So that's why I ask you, as a manager, as a director, you need to get trained. Be the one who is you become the trainer. You train the rest of the staff. So the trainer approach, it might cost $1,000 or $2,000 to get you trained so that you can use the software more fully. It doesn't matter if it's not one of the high-end, PeopleSoft or Tyler, for example, the company Tyler Technologies. They're an awesome company. They own like 30 different accounting software packages. They have Tyler Munis, there's IFIS, there's Encode, there's Fund Balance, and on and on and on. But any one of those, even the lower end, if you will, accounting software, can be a powerful tool for you if you learn to use it at a 70 or 80 or even 90% utilization, where you're using all the aspects of the software. You have to spend the time to learn it. You have to have at least one person who's an expert on the software to be able to train the others. But even then, you have to engage your IT department to ensure that there is proper internal controls, that we verify who has access to the different menus. You don't want people going into payroll and changing other people's pay and so forth. So you got to go through the menu security in your accounting package and making sure that people have the right level of access. Sorry. The other thing is with regard to the software is that training the staff. But there's got to be one person who's a power user. Usually it's the manager. And as cumbersome as it is to sit down and go through that, purchase orders. When you look at your budgeting, when you post a budget versus actual, you also have a third column called encumbrances. Those encumbrances, to show how much is available in your accounting software, requires you to have the purchasing module. And obviously that's a whole nother challenge in working with departments to ensure that they're complying with the purchasing procedures, the purchasing ordinance of your local government organization. But if you don't provide the tools to the departments, well, they don't have anything to work with. So I highly recommend that you look at implementing purchasing, getting that module working properly, and ensuring that there's an encumbrance, so that you look at budget minus actual minus encumbrances for the purchase orders currently out there, and then you have an available balance. And to the extent that departments have access to that module, they're going to use it, right? One of the things that happens all the time is that accounting information is not relevant. We haven't closed the books. We can't roll it over into the new year until you close the prior year. Posting of the budget, posting of encumbrances through purchase orders, that's all training, and that's got to be one person that does that. To me, it's the accounting manager or maybe a senior accounting manager, but the finance director is ultimately the CFO, accounting controller, whoever is the top level finance and accounting person in the department needs to ensure that the software is being utilized at a high level. If not, productivity is going to be lower. Staff are going to be more frustrated in that they have to keep a fragmented set of database applications, whether it's Access, Excel, or whatever, and they're always duplicating effort. Remember, information, data needs to be entered only once through all of the modules, which feed into the general ledger, so you can print out your annual financial statements, your monthly, your quarterly, whatever your periodic or interim reporting that you do, your budget reporting and other reports, and for purposes of being current on your payroll reports and business license renewals and on and on and on. I could go on forever, but just remember, utilize your software at the highest possible level so you can raise productivity, eliminate those internal control weaknesses that you have from not knowing who has access, and then of course getting trained on that so you can train others as well. This is John Herrera from MuniTemps and the City Speak podcast and blog. Please email me. I love your comments. Please reach out to me. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.